Okay, guys, this is part 2 of the income video I did about a week ago. So if you haven't watched that video, you need to go watch that video first. Since I did that video, I've had some people say that the 16th Amendment was illegal in the first place. So I had to do some digging. I wanted to find out exactly what that meant. So 16th Amendment, illegal in the first place. The first thing I did is, okay, well, what is the process of ratifying amendments to the Constitution? So we need to take it back to the very beginning to find out. And what I found out is that the process is laid out in Article 5 of the Constitution. So what's Article 5 of the Constitution say? The Congress, whenever 2/3 of both houses shall deem it necessary, shall propose amendments to the Constitution or on the application of the legislatures of 2/3 of the several states, shall call a convention for proposing amendments, which in either case shall be valid to all intents and purposes as part of this Constitution, when ratified by the legislatures. Anybody else have a problem with that word? Legislatures of 3/4 of the several states, or by conventions in 3/4 thereof, as the one or the other mode of ratification may be proposed by the Congress, provided that no amendment which may be made prior to the year 1808 shall in any manner affect the first and fourth clauses in the 9th section of the first article, and that no state without its consent shall be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate. That's a lot of words that are like, blah, blah, blah. All right. So basically what this is saying, in order to ratify an amendment to the Constitution, you have to have 2/3 vote in both houses, and you also have to have 3/4 of the states vote. Okay. It is also saying that Article 1, Section 9, Clause 1 cannot be ratified before 1808. And then Clause 4 cannot be ratified or amended. Neither one of those two can be amended. The first can be amended after 1808. The fourth cannot be amended. All right. The wording in that's funny, but I did a lot of research trying to figure out, does that expiration date stand for all clauses in Section 9? But no, it's just the first clause. All right, so let's look at that one. So Article 1, Section 9, Clause 1. The migration of importation of such persons as any of the states now existing shall think proper to admit shall not be prohibited by the Congress prior to the year 1808, but a tax or duty may be imposed on such importation, not exceeding $10 for each person. The next little dot is just another way of saying it. So the slave trade cannot be banned by Congress until at least 1808, but a tax of up to $10 can be put on imported slaves, which kind of null and void now because of the 13th Amendment where slavery was banned. That's basically what it's saying. It's saying that you can't change this clause until 1808, which we did. If you look at it, we actually pushed it through so that in January of 1808, it was illegal to import slaves. It didn't ban slavery, but it at least was step one to prevent them from illegally coming into the U.S. So that's what that was about. Okay. So the next one is Clause 4. This is the one that has no expiration date. You cannot amend. All right. So this says no capitation or other direct tax shall be laid, unless in proportion to the census or enumeration herein before directed to be taken. Isn't that exactly what the 16th Amendment nullifies? This little website right here. I want to show you what it says. This is just constitutionallawreporter.com in my research. And they show you, if it will come up, they show you this article here. And my internet's going to be super slow. Basically, what they say, here it is. If you go down, this is showing Article 1, Section 9, and it's showing all the clauses. And you get to Clause 4. What does it say right here? It says Congress must tax according to the number of citizens there are in the country according to the census. The 16th Amendment changed this so Congress could charge and collect taxes any way they wanted. That is BS. No. Okay, this website, what is it, Constitutional Law Reporter? Yeah, a bunch of freaking BS, okay? So let's go back. Why is that BS? All right, so with this right here, first, the 16th Amendment had no right to be ratified just based on this. Article 5 says you cannot amend Clause 4. There's no expiration date. Clause 1 had an expiration date of 1808. Clause 4 has no expiration date. You cannot amend Clause 4. If we go back, this is from my first video, 16th Amendment says the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever sources derived without apportionment among the several states and without regard to any census or enumeration. So that is completely contradicting this. No capitation or other direct tax shall be laid unless proportioned to the census or enumeration. And Article 5 says you cannot amend the 4th clause in the 9th section of the 1st article. But that's not where it ends. Okay? Let's keep going. So when I found that out, I said, so who was responsible? What states approved this? Okay? It said you needed 2/3 vote in both houses, and you need 3/4 vote of the states. So this amendment was pushed through in 1909. It wasn't ratified until 1913. That's a whole other story. But during this time, we had 48 states. So 3/4 of 48 is 48 multiplied by 0.75. That's 36. So in order to ratify the 16th Amendment, 36 states had to approve and vote for it. All right. So if you Google states that ratify the 16th Amendment, or you can say which states approved the 16th Amendment, whatever you want to do, it's going to come up with the same answer, which is right here. The ratification of the 16th Amendment on this state, the states of Delaware, Wyoming, and New Mexico approved the 16th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, ratifying it into law. The amendment empowered Congress to impose an income tax on individuals and corporations, which I already proved in my last video that the 16th Amendment didn't give any new taxing power to the government. And right here it says only 3 states approved the 16th Amendment. I'm sorry, you need 36. 36. There's only 3. What the F? So, I just keep checking off boxes as to why this is all illegal. So I get to this slide and I'm already mad. I'm like, if 36 states were needed, how did it pass with only 3? So Secretary of State at the time, Secretary Knox, ratified the bill on February of 1913, stating that 38 states approved the ratification. Yet, there is proof that Kentucky and Oklahoma voted based on false information. Income tax was excluded from the forms that they were reading and made to seem as if the amendment was doing the exact opposite than Congress intended. Knox knew this and still pushed them through. Now, if you take Kentucky and Oklahoma out, we're down to 36. Okay, so you think, okay, we still have 36. No, we don't. No, we don't. Tennessee. The Tennessee state constitution requires a waiting period before voting on any amendment that changes the tax in the Constitution until after an election period. This is a very good rule of the Constitution for states, because what this does is it allows a resting period. So if they're pushing through this amendment and it's for tax and they think it's going to solve problems X, Y, and Z, then if that's true, let's not rush on it. Let's give it a resting period, wait till the next election, and if this amendment seems as if it's the only possible solution, then we'll vote on it. Okay, well, Tennessee didn't. They violated their own state constitution and they voted on it anyways. They did not give it the waiting period they're supposed to. So Tennessee is null and void. So now we've taken 3 states out of 38. We're at 35. Already null and void. But that's not where it ends. Tennessee is not the only state constitution that requires that. If I bet you, if I didn't look into it, because I didn't need to, I already proved it. But if you look into it, I guarantee you, and this is all provable, you can look at when it was announced, when Tennessee voted, and when they were supposed to vote. You can see all of that. So let's go to the next one. So Ohio, California, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Minnesota never turned in any rectifying forms proving their votes. So whenever you have anything, even down to us citizens, if we turn anything in that is to the government, it has to be signed, it has to be on an official form, and it has to be sealed. And these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 states never even turned in any rectifying forms proving their votes, yet California is on Knox's list of the 38 states. So now we've knocked out another one. We're down to 34. How are you going to say that they approved it when they never turned in any of their votes or paperwork? All right. Now, Knox never even heard from Virginia or Pennsylvania, and he received rejection from Florida, Vermont, and Massachusetts. Yet all 3 were recorded by Knox as passed and approved. What the hell? So Knox should have been prosecuted for fraud. I mean, this just keeps getting deeper and deeper. There's a website right here, givemeliberty.org. This particular link takes you to where I got the state information. So it's these last 2 slides where I'm talking about Kentucky, Oklahoma, Tennessee. That's where I got that information. It's a lot more, and it's a lot more in depth if you want to read it. So definitely go to that website and look at that. But I mean, I didn't feel like I needed to go down any more into this. My last video, we proved that definitions of income are not stated, that Supreme Court's ruled that the 16th Amendment did not give the government any new taxing powers. And now here we are proving that the 16th Amendment was a fraud to begin with. It was a fraud to begin with, right along with the Federal Reserve and the IRS. Someone in my last video asked for the link to the letter that you can send the IRS, basically saying you're not paying any more income taxes. That's this right here. This is from my last video. It's the last slide of my last video about income tax. www.tax-freedom.com/taxsummary.htm. I will put this in the thingy at the bottom description so that you guys can just click on it. I'll probably put that other website in there too. But yeah, so this, if you didn't watch my other video, this basically takes you to a form that you can kind of fill in your name and the tax name, and you can send it to the IRS, and it's proof that you owe no taxes. What would happen if everybody in the United States sent that letter into IRS? What would happen? Like, legit. Maybe we all should. But that's all I got. If you guys have anything else that you want to add, please put it in the comments. You guys have been super helpful with my last video of giving me some things to look at, and this especially, like, I can't even believe it. And it didn't even take that much time. We just look into it. It's right there. But yeah, if there's anything else you want to add to this, please put it in the comments. And if there's anything else you want me to research, I'll be glad to do it. I love doing this. It's so much fun. But that's all I have for you for now.